escapes his sight.
Hey guys, this is Eric Beachy here again with Just Beachy Realty, powered by EXP. I'm with my friend Matthew Maceira. He is the Executive Director of Be Bold Street Ministries. I had a chance to meet with the Chief Operating Officer, Josh Lair, and this is a follow-up interview with Matthew just to continue to talk about what you guys are doing at Be Bold Street Ministries. Again, to preface this before we go into details and talk with Matt, please be sure to go to beboldstreetministries.org. Read up on their stories. It's truly inspiring stuff. It filled me with a lot of hope, and I've gotten to know both Matt and Josh at the gym here recently, and I'm just really inspired by what you guys are doing. So I want to do whatever I can to help promote that into the community and get as much help that you can to help continue to do what you guys are doing. So Matt, just briefly tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into Be Bold Street Ministries, and also, what the main goal of what you guys are trying to do in the community.
Yeah, so my background is saved from 27 years in the drug world. My dad was a gang leader within the Latin Kings. Family came from Puerto Rico to New York lots of years ago, and then transitioned from New York, Chicago to Salem, and this is where I was born, and my dad introduced me into that world. Unfortunately, right, it wasn't a normal son-father relationship, and he introduced me to alcoholism at a super young age, about 8 years old. And then my time in the drug world was, again, 27 years. I acquired 14 knife wounds, 2 gunshot wounds, drug trafficking, criminality, gang leadership. That's what life started like. And Be Bold Street Ministry started. I actually used to sleep under that bridge right there, headed back into downtown Salem. And I was going over that bridge a bunch of years ago. We're well over 8 years now. And I was just talking to God. I said, what do you want me doing? And I know you created me for a reason. And it wasn't to be about me. I proved what that looks like, and nobody's thankful. And he just laid on my heart, get some water. Because I remember what it was like to have no water on the streets, no clean water, drinking water that was not fit for human consumption, and then living out the results of that, being in and out of the hospital, being on the streets. I was homeless on the streets of Salem for about a decade, and so I went in, got a bunch of cases of water, and that day I was able to interact with 168 different people. Exactly.
Josh and I talked a little bit last time about socks and how something you really don't think about can mean so much to somebody, and that's something that we do is we carry bottled water in our car, and we'll give it out. I mean, just to have, it's just something small that we don't think about that can impact someone's life like that, and it gives you that window to have that conversation as well, which is exactly what you're saying. Is how many people? 168 different people just with water.
Yeah.
And that just shows how powerful just something like that, just an act of kindness, can open up that conversation, and you can really share God's message with folks.
Yeah.
I love that story, and man, it gets me wanting to be more involved. So, hearing this stuff and seeing what you came from and what you've achieved so far gives me hope and me desire to go out and help in the community as well. So I am going to be there and supporting you guys as much as I can, which leads me into the next thing is, your event on July 29th.
Yeah.
So I wanted everyone to hear about this. This is something you guys would all get involved in. I want Matt to kind of tell you the details about that. But again, July 29th, tell us about that event, what you guys have planned.
Yeah, so the July 29th event is the We See You birthday. We started them 8 years ago, so this will be the 8th one. They started at Marion Square Park, the skate park. This year we will also be in the downtown corridor. God sees everybody, right? There's nobody that escapes his sight, and that's the premise behind that. God sees you and we see you. You're not invisible to us. Because most of the folks on the streets, they're unheard. They are the folks that are discarded,
right?
By most of society. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And God doesn't see them that way. His thoughts towards every one of the folks that currently lives on the streets of our city is more than the count of sand. just take into consideration the sand that's visible. So we want to come together every year and we want to celebrate their birthdays, because the moment of their birth was precious in the sight of God's eyes. And we see it that way too, no matter what their situation, circumstances currently are. So we're going to come together, we're going to celebrate their birthdays for sure, we're going to be sharing the gospel, and there's going to be a gift that for everybody that comes through. There's going to be multiple food trucks, Kona Ice is going to be there. Everything is free for everybody that shows up, just like salvation. Everything on the 29th is a free gift to everybody that shows up. And there's going to be a bunch of other ministries and churches coming together to reach our city with the only message of hope that will never disappoint, co-laboring in the fulfillment of the gospel in the Great Commission. And there's going to be another bunch of other organizations there to meet other needs, such as housing opportunities, if they want to get plugged into A&E services, medical. All those folks are going to be on site. So any need that could ever be needed for any one of the folks for their individual needs will be on site. We'll be there to fulfill the mission that God has called us to, and those folks will be there to fulfill the mission that they are called to within their organizations.
But I plan on being there and just use me however you can. Folks, I think that's a good reason to get on the site, not just to listen to Josh and Matt's story, but you can donate funds that will help with this July 29th event. You can go and ask to provide service, provide your time. Time is very valuable with these types of things. The more people we can reach out, the more people we can reach.
Yeah.
So I really implore you folks, go to the site, peoplesministries.org, check out the stories, donate if you have the funds, donate your time if it's available. I hope to see all of you on July 29th. I'm going to be there, Matt will be there. I really appreciate again what you guys are doing, man, and I hope that it's a huge event. I know it will be, but I want to help try to make it as big as possible as well, man.
Awesome. We've never served any less than around approximately 700.
That's amazing.
Different folks.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that. Just
keep getting bigger, right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for meeting us down here. I really want to continue doing with you guys. Keep all the good work you guys are doing in front of everyone as much as possible. Spread that word. That's the goal, right? Spread the word.
Yeah.
And so thanks again, Matt. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.